Yeah, I think the boys have all reported back in good condition. We've been really happy with, as I say, the way they've looked after themselves since we left them, and a lot of them have come back fit. So preparation's been good, and I know the boys are really eager to get going, as are the coaching staff. We want to get our first game out of the way, have a look at a few things, and then we can start to move from there, really. So.
Former Player of the Year Aaron Green is one of the signings made this summer. How are the new additions settling into the squad?
Yeah, settling really well. Aaron was one that stuck out to us when we played Enfield. His pace is just phenomenal. He's so quick. He's a proper athlete, and he came back in fantastic condition. He looks fantastic. Could build, pace to burn, and that's going to be a real asset for us moving forward. And we're excited about seeing him, in a game situation.
So you were involved with the Blues Academy before we came to the first team.
Yep.
What's the biggest difference in coaching between the two?
It's just the demands. Obviously, you're working with players that have played at a level. Some have played league football, some have played conference football. So it's just being really, really specific on detail and making sure that your sessions are really well thought out, and you just give a proper session, really, in terms of the level, the intensity, the demands, all those sorts of things, really.
Yeah, and given the great run of results towards the end of last season, how much confidence do you have in the players to make the playoffs all better this year?
We've got a lot of confidence. Obviously, there's various factors that go into that. We're preparing for a successful season. As you say, we finished really strongly last year. Disappointing to narrowly miss out, but at the same time, it's given us a fantastic platform for this year. So we're really eager to hit the ground running, start well with the pre-seasons, and hopefully give the fans something to enjoy again, because it was fantastic to have the support we had last year, and we want to try and repay that with another successful season and hopefully go another notch further.
And perhaps the biggest news ahead of the new season is that the club will still be in the BetVictor Premier for the upcoming campaign. How important is that consistency and stability and development of the club, playing against teams that you know and you've played against before?
It is a big help. Obviously, when there was talk of us possibly moving leagues, you do your homework on different clubs throughout the year, and then to change leagues and change levels, it's nice for us to have been put in a position where we can now stay put. We know, as you say, we know the teams, we know the demands. Things will change, obviously, and we'll have to go and do our homework on the teams that we're going to play again, because new signings come in, new tactics. But as a general rule, we know how they play, and it allows us to build on last year properly without too much chop and changing. So, yeah, we're delighted with that, to be honest.
And finally, this season will be ground sharing with Enfield 1893. How do you think both clubs will benefit from this in the long term?
I think it's good. Obviously the coaching staff of Enfield, we've met quite a lot. We've had lots of discussions with them, and it allows us to sort of freely move players in between both teams, really. I think that's going to be a real plus to the club, and I suppose in a way we can look at it sort of like a bit like a reserve team. Players that need to drop down a level or get fitness back after injury can go in there, play at senior league level, get to where they need to get, and move up, and vice versa. If they've got players in their team that need the next step, maybe we can offer them that. So I think it'll be a really good. Relationship, to be honest.
So, Jack, even with the disappointing result at Cureton at the end of last season, how high was the morale in the team?
Very good. Obviously, like you just said, it was very, very disappointing at the end of the season. We worked so hard, went on that game-winning run, but we just want to bounce back this year, start off pre-season, everyone's looking sharp, ready, got the core of the squad back, and hopefully we'll start off how we ended, really. A bit better than Cureton, and come on another run from the start to the end of the season.
To be fair, I think halfway through the season, when we took our dip, no one really expected us to be in the situation we were in the first place. But getting that far, obviously, and not really getting a result, obviously everyone was just gutted, but we've got to stay positive and think about now as well,
And what are the team's targets for this season?
Personally, I'd say win the league, to be honest with you, if not playoffs. But like I said, the squad morale is really high, and I think it shouldn't be less than winning the league, really.
And how are the new players settling into the squad?
Yeah, good, very good. Everyone's looking sharp. Everyone looks like they want to be here. Like I said, it's a winning team at the minute. Well, hopefully that's what we're trying to make it. So everyone that's come in is trying to prove themselves in a minute.
Just missing playoffs out, I think it would only be fair and only natural to just at least make playoffs. If not, obviously we've got to go for the league as well. So we're definitely good enough. So I don't see why not.
And just a quick word on the player manager, Jamie. How much have you learnt from having him in the coaching and in the team as well?
Even away from coaching, just on the pitch, his guidance and and everything he brings. You know, if he says something like we do it, we have to respect like obviously who he is at the end of the day. So it's just great to have him around. So, yeah.
Personally, yeah, I've been, like I said, I want to personally, on a personal level with the team, do really well this season. So I've done a few extra bits before pre-season, hoping I'm going to be ready for myself, have a good season, good personal season.
Yeah, so what are your targets for the season for you personally?
My target, get another 35, 40 appearances under my belt. Just keep improving under Cureton. I think I've got the coaches in Steve, Jim and Cureton to just keep improving and just make the team and myself better, keep getting better.
Jamie, how are you feeling mentally and physically ahead of the new season?
Yeah, really good, I have to say. I did quite a bit after the end of the season, sort of football-wise, and still playing. But I managed to get maybe about 4 or 5 weeks off, so I feel really fresh. Good to be back. You know, I really enjoyed last season. So yeah, I'm one of them that I do enjoy my break, but after a certain period of time, it's nice to be back. It's been good being around the lads, especially because we've kept so many. So you come back very familiar, which I don't think we've done for a while. Stalford, it's been quite chop and changey. So yeah, feeling good, feeling fresh, enjoying pre-season. Yeah, we're feeling good.
So last season saw some brilliant personal achievements. And what milestones are you targeting this campaign?
I think it'd be really probably to play as much as possible. There isn't too many targets. 400's one of them, but I might need a season and a bit, depending if I have a really good season. So I think it'd mainly just be trying to perform to a good standard, play as many games as I possibly can, and try and score as many goals. And then personally, I suppose on the other side of it, you know, being sort of player manager as well alongside Steve, is trying to achieve something in that respect. So, you know, we did so well last year, got to semi-finals of cups and just missed out on playoffs. So to achieve something, being in that position, you know, winning something or gaining promotion or getting into the playoffs, I suppose that's the target for me now. So it's starting to change rather than personal goals. You know, a real team sort of goal now, definitely.
Yes, so you mentioned your coaching role. From a fan's perspective, it seemed like a bit of a surprise, but how prepared were you for that appointment?
I mean, I say I wasn't. Stephen mentioned it because things hadn't gone great. So I think after the cup game, when we lost the FA Cup game, Steve mentioned it then. And I was like, okay, you know, I've always thought it was something that might happen being my age, that if I was at a club and the manager left for whatever reason, I might be that person that stepped in. So I was prepared for it. I didn't know when it was going to happen or if it would have happened. You know, I thought, hoping that the season would have gone well, and obviously Kingstonian happened. We didn't win, and Steve made a decision and turned to me and said, I want you to step in and he would help and we would do it together. So it was a bit of a shock. I said at the time I'm obviously still playing, so I said we need a coach, so we got Jim in. And then it was just a case of learning on the job, I suppose. I've been in dressing rooms, obviously been around a load of managers. I had my own ideas about what I thought was best, and I felt my best trait was man management, and I felt throughout the season I think I used that quite well, and then my tactics and stuff. So it was enjoyable. Like I say, it was nice. I sort of was in a win-win situation that I was playing. If I didn't score but we won, it was a double bonus, where before sometimes playing, not scoring and winning, it was like happy we won, but I didn't. Where it was like, it's sort of, I was getting double bonuses all the time, scoring, winning, felt it was part of my team. I was having an input, things I was setting up if they were working. In games, I got a real buzz from that, helping the young boys, trying to help them, you know, in their careers. So yeah, it was unexpected but really enjoyable, and you know, I'm a season in now as a, you know, part-time sort of player manager.
And it was a great end to the season. How high was the morale amongst the team during that run of victories?
We were buzzing, to be fair. I mean, I've been in some real good dressing rooms and won promotions and done well, but it was really enjoyable. The boys really bought into what we wanted. They were a great group, and they give us everything. I mean, the running, I don't think we could have asked for really any more. You know, we failed at the last hurdle, but I don't know if that was our 8th on the trot we were going for, 7th or 8th win. And to do that was unbelievable. I think with 10 games to go, I think we did say we're going to need 8 wins. And you sort of say it and think, okay. And we ended up near enough doing it. And I was more disappointed for the group because I knew what we put in so much over the last few months, and to miss out the last game of the season, you know, I wasn't just disappointed for myself, I was so disappointed for the lads because it had been such a journey. But it was thoroughly enjoyable, and that's why we've kept as many as possible, and you know, we're hoping that we can, you know, take that we've learnt last year and take that into this year, and you know, have a real good season again.
Congratulations on the Golden Boot and being included in the league team this season. Do those accolades reassure you that you're you're making the right decision to carry on playing?
I think so, yeah. I spoke to a lot of people, and I've always said that I won't carry on if I feel I'm just turning up and not really doing the job. So for me to be the top goal scorer in the league, to be in the team of the season, it shows me that, you know, my age really it doesn't matter. You know, if I'm able to do that, I'm obviously competing in the division I'm in and competing at a top level, basically. You know, if I was 10 years younger, I would be in the Football League probably by now, by doing what I've done last year. And the only reason I'm not is because I'm coming up to 44. So to me, it makes me immensely proud that at my age I'm still able to compete and outdo people 20 years my junior, I suppose. And I'm not just out there and people think, oh, it's Jamie Cureton because he's played here, this is why he's playing. I'm actually proving that, you know, I'm able to do a very good job. So yeah, that just makes me want to carry on. And the season where it doesn't happen and I feel I'm not in the positions I should be and I'm not getting there and I feel a bit leggy and I'm not scoring the chances I should have done and I'm letting myself down, my team down, the club, then I'll call it a day. If I'm not and I still feel I'm contributing to the group, then I'll keep going.